So in the previous video, we created the base for the Do Nothing machine off of this blueprint here. That'll be in the link is in the description of that as well. So if you come down here, the next thing we're going to make is our slider. The way I'm going to go about doing this is I hit my little plus sign here and create another part studio. I'm going to come up here and change my units. Oh, hit the wrong thing, cancel. I'm going to change my workspace units to making sure they're on millimeters. I'm going to lay a sketch down on my front plane. I'm going to make a 25-inch line. And again, I'm going to dimension the end of that line to the center point, 12.5 millimeters, so I know that it's centered. Let's try this again. The end of the line to the center point. There we go. 12.5 millimeters. And again, just like I did that hole, I'm going to do that rough shape. Now, a couple things that I know, I'm going to dimension this. This slider is going to be 25 millimeters as well. And then I'm going to grab my angle here, or my dimension tool, and I'm going to angle that same degrees here. So I'm going to go dimension this side to here. I want that to be 76 degrees. I'm going to zoom back out, and I want this side here to here to be 76 degrees. So my part now is dimensioned, and I'm going to extrude this part, and the extrusion on this needs to be 50 millimeters. So the next thing we're going to notice, we have a hole in the top of this, so I'm going to place a sketch on the top plane here. I'm going to orientate myself. I'm going to grab my circle tool. I'm going to line up here with my center line on each side, and I'm going to make this 8 millimeters. So just to show you how I use the center lines here, that I'm actually in the center of this at 25, and then the middle of this part at 12.5 there. Now I'm going to use my extrude. I'm going to extrude this face here as a removal, and the removal depth of this is 20 millimeters. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create another part studio now that I have that part complete. And I'm going to work on creating this handle here. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to lay a sketch down on the top plane. I'm going to orientate myself. I'm going to use my center point rectangle tool. And I'm going to create a 200 millimeter by 18 millimeter rectangle, and then I'm going to come to my circle tool on this center line here. I'm going to make 3 circles. Each of these circles are 8 millimeters. Again, it doesn't matter where I put them right now because I'm going to dimension them where I want them to be. So 8 millimeters. I'm going to grab my dimension tool from the center point of this circle to this end line here is 12 millimeters. And the center point of this circle to the next circle is 75 millimeters. And then from the center point of this circle to the end, we're at 10 millimeters. What we're going to do now is we're going to extrude this part, and the extrusion depth on this is 6 inches. So now what we have is we have our handle and we have our slider, which you could go about and rename handle. And coming to Part Studio 2, we can rename this, not properties, rename this slider. And again, if whatever color that you'd want to, we're going to right click on that and edit the appearance. And we can come to Part Studio 3 and edit the appearance of this as well. In the next video, we're going to make the linkage pins that go along with this.